It's been close to 7 years, almost the entire life of my channel thus far, since I last reviewed a Mellophone. I think today is the day we finally change that. How's it going, everybody? It's your host Sam here from the Samuel Plays Brass channel. Hope you're all doing well on this fine day, and I appreciate you tuning in. Welcome back to another issue of Scholastic Brass Month, Part 2, Electric Boogaloo, where we are closing out French Horn Week with a long-awaited video. This is the Mellophone that I was using this past season in Gonzaga University's basketball band, so I'm really excited to go over it with you all. Make sure to leave a like on this video if you enjoy, and without any further ado, let's dive in. So here in all its glory is the Yamaha YMP-204M. This is Yamaha's standard entry-level marching mellophone, and the M in 204M actually stands for marching because, fun fact of the day, Yamaha was the last company, the last mainstream maker to produce non-marching mellophones, circular mellophones, concert mellophones, tenor cores, whatever you want to call them. Yamaha was still making them up through the 70s, maybe even the 80s. Because for a long time, Japanese concert bands actually used them in place of French horns. The 204M is available in both lacquer and silver plate, which is the MS variant, S for silver plate. It's got a number of features here. It takes a standard trumpet-sized shank, although this is not really a trumpet mouthpiece. It's Yamaha's 14F4MP, where the F is their flugelhorn and mellophone cup. And it just yields a little bit more of a pleasant sound than if you stick an actual trumpet mouthpiece into the shank. Additionally, if the 14F4 is not your cup of tea, you can take it out and replace it with the French horn to mellophone shank adapter that Yamaha provides with these instruments so that you can use your French horn mouthpiece instead. That, I don't think, is the correct way of doing things, but the option is available to you if you enjoy being a quarter tone flat in the upper register. And then we've got a gold brass lead pipe here, a little bit of extra copper. You might even be able to tell it's a little bit darker than the rest of the brass on the instrument, and that is for the sake of a little bit of extra corrosion resistance for all the spitting into your lead pipe that you do as a marcher. So that's the lead pipe there. We've got 3 water keys, one on the lead pipe, one on this back branch here, and one on the third slide. And you can see this wrap as a whole is kind of a cute little thing. It's got a cornet-like wrap at the front where we've got a tuning slide extending back that direction, and then it comes out and does an extra loop around here. This is very different from something like the King Ultimate marching mellophones, which have quite a different wrap, and this is more similar to things like the Olds & Son and Reynolds mellophones, although there are a couple key differences, such as this curved third valve slide here, which is straight on a lot of older mellophones, which makes it hard to take off. In this case, the curved slide is really nice. It fits compactly in there, and assuming you can get it out, it shouldn't bump up against the bell the way some of the straight third valve slides do. Speaking of the third slide, we've got a lyre holder there. Unfortunately, no on-the-fly tuning, but Yamaha does provide on-the-fly tuning on the first slide, which has a thumb saddle. That is really, really handy, and it comes in very necessary on some of the notes on this instrument. On the second valve casing, we've got the model number YMP-204M, as well as the serial number, and the bore size of this valve section is .462, kind of a standard trumpet large bore, but it's also fairly standard in the mellophone world as just a general size. 462 to 468 seems to be the way to go. Then the bell flare, nice big one, can't see nothing while you're playing, is 10 inches in diameter, not quite French horn size, but also I think pretty typical for mellophones. And on the bell inscription, we've got Yamaha, established in 1887. This is a standard yellow brass bell, 70% copper, like most of the instrument besides the lead pipe. And this bell is supposedly laser fused. They actually have a high-tech laser that makes a virtually seamless bell as opposed to hand hammering that seam. Additionally, all of Yamaha's marching brass comes standard with heavy-duty bracing so that the instrument doesn't fall apart on you on the field. And as far as special features go, I think that is about all there is to write home about, but you can check out the Yamaha website for more information. That'll be in the description. Let's turn it back over to the studio. Some people claim that older or more vintage style mellophones are better equipped for projecting their tone outwards, and that in the category of decibel output, newer and more modern mellophones can't really compete with the older ones. This is, I would say, it holds some water depending on the type of modern mellophone you're talking about. I'm not the biggest mellophone savant on the planet, but of the few modern ones I've tried, I would say the 204 is probably the most competent in competing with the old ones for just raw decibel output. Like the older ones, it does lose a couple of decibels once you reach, let's say, below G or F in the staff, which would be, in terms of concert pitches, that middle C on a piano or the B flat just below it. But honestly, it plays, I would say, as loud as you need it to. When I was playing, even in that big open rehearsal hall, I could feel my sound just bouncing off of every wall. Furthermore, the full range of the 204 speaks easily. It's got a wide open high register up to high C and well beyond if you have the chops. Alright, Sam, I think we get the picture. No, really, we're done. In the lower register, like I said, you do tend to lose a couple decibels unless you really power through the notes, and also the notes tend to get a little bit sharper the lower you go, but squirrely intonation aside, it is pretty well open all the way down to the pedal tones. Don't think you ever use those on Mellophone, but they're there if you need them. But speaking of the intonation of this instrument, I wouldn't say it's the most consistent. There are definitely not only some oddball notes, but oddball keys. The instrument doesn't feel fully equally tempered, if you will, if you're a keyboard nerd. Unfortunately, the sharp keys on this instrument really do get a lot squirrelier in terms of intonation, which is what you might have heard in the intro clip. Like I said, the 204 can project very well and play very loudly, and moreover, when you do play loudly and approach it with a little bit of hostility, then it has that awesome balls-to-the-wall mellophone tone that I really like, very rich and high frequencies without losing too much of the core in the mid-range. But also, if you play it softly, you really can change the tone up pretty pleasantly. I think it works better if you angle the horn down a little bit, which is not what you do in marching band, but nonetheless, I had to try some jazz on it. I find alto register jazz ballads to be a really attractive sounding sort of thing, and the 204 does that pretty well, I would say. Overall, whether what you're looking for is your first personal mellophone or an instrument to stock in high school or college marching bands or pep bands inventories, or heck, even a fat oversized flugelhorn for all of your alto register ballad needs, I think the Yamaha YMP-204M should be right at the top of your list of candidates. There's not a lot of really great modern mellophones out there on the market, but if you want something that's good and solid and consistently manufactured, the 204 is a great choice. It's got overall good durability, good mechanics, good sound for out on the field or even inside. It blends well with either more of itself in a section or even other mellophones. It's got a good middle of the register mellophone tone, nothing shocking either way, but that's generally not the point of a mellophone that's supposed to play in a large section. Anyway, I've enjoyed playing the 204M, and I hope you've enjoyed learning about it. If you have, make sure to leave a like and a comment on the video, and do me one more favor. Make sure that you're actually subscribed to the Samuel Plays Brass channel, unlike the vast majority of my viewers if you want to see more of this type of stuff. Subscribing is the easiest way to stay caught up, and overall, it's a small gesture with a huge impact on the channel. We're coming right up on 15,000 subscribers, so let's see if we can smash that by the end of this back-to-school season. Until next time, you can find more insert reviews in the playlist in the top right corner, and we will see you on the flip side. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you want to support the creation of bigger and better content on the Samuel Plays Brass channel, have your name featured right here, and a whole host of other perks and benefits, then please consider pledging your support at patreon.com/SamuelPlaysBrass. For now, you can find more videos in the end screen cards to my left.